Kids shouldn't die because they didn't have food. Or the kids shouldn't die because they didn't have a really simple medicine that they can take over the course of 2 days that will get rid of a bacterial infection in their stomach that costs $1. There's no way people should die from that. I mean, children are the future for any civilization, right? If there's no children, there's no future. That's why people should care about kids, man. I'm Adam Carlile. I'm one of the co-directors of Building Bridges of Hope, and that is an organization that helps and assists a Dominican nonprofit by the name of FUMSIL here in the border between the Dominican Republic and Haiti. And I knew for a long time that I was going to be a missionary somewhere. I just didn't know where. Never in a million years did I ever envision that it was going to be in the Caribbean anywhere. And when God calls us to do things, sometimes He asks us to step out in faith. So half of this valley is the Dominican Republic side. Half the other side is Haiti. We have children that we see in our nutrition program that are from this area. And what they do is they walk up this mountain, cross down the road, and then walk down the other side to our clinic. If mom's carrying 2 kids because they're infants or whatever, it could take her up to 6 hours. This is where the infant mortality rate is 25%. This whole area, this whole community. This is our pharmacy right here. Our clinic space where the doctor is seeing patients is inside of that pink house with a tin roof. Kaylee, our nurse, our medical staff coordinator, what she's doing is she's detailing all the information for each patient. She takes their blood pressures and potentially their sugar, what their symptoms are, and then she issues their number. She's also the person, though, that's in charge of seeing the children. To have a permanent medical facility would do away with this entire mess. It would be organized and efficient. Old school vial, glass vial. You break off the tip. The difference in healthcare between this country and the United States is so vast. This is the location of our clinic, and then we still have to build the walls up, but it's going to be a 1-story with a flat roof. What we have to do is we have to get the healthcare system in place, which will be this clinic. Then we can open up a school, and we can start working on their education. And during that time that we're working on their education, we can feed those kids when they're at our school. Being a Knight, it's just great to see their hands go to work back in the States. And then here it is, man. Like, this is a large portion of what you see here was made possible by the Knights of Columbus. Like, both assembly and council levels, state and countrywide. Like, it's not just a localized effort here. Like, this has been an incredible blessing for all these people up here. What we as Knights excel at is bringing the community together. These are the guys that see a need in their community, and they jump into it head first. 75 million hours of time was donated by the Knights last year, and over $200 million in donations went around the globe to charitable causes. That stuff's really important. There's not a whole lot of people out there doing that kind of service for people.
As a Knight of Columbus, Adam is able to have a community that molds him into the type of leader that he wants to be, the type of leader that he desires to be, and ultimately the type of leader that the Lord desires for him to be.
One of the kids that we took care of is actually coming down the street right now, Ale. Ale weighed 10 pounds. He was 2.5 years old when we got him, couldn't walk. And he had a temperature of 105 degrees. We dunked him in this 55-gallon drum of water in order to bring his temperature down. And as soon as his little body hit this water, it was bizarre to see a little tiny child's body with scorching temperature turn cold water in a heartbeat. We had to keep dumping it out and adding fresh water in it. I didn't think he was gonna make it a night or two. And eventually his temperature just came down. One day he woke up, and I could see him right now in his little crib. And he looks up, and he looks at me through the little metal bars on this crib. He smiles at me, and then I pull him out of there because he's smiling for the first time in a week. There he is. Venga! ¿Cómo va todo, muchacho? Bien. ¿Y la escuela?
Bien.
Muy bien. 2 years he lived here with us. And he was 2.5 years old. He weighed 10 pounds. Muy bien. Muchísimas gracias. ¿Paso mañana también? Sí. Estoy en ese documento ahora. Este documentario ahora. Sí. Shukran.